All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another video from AA Sports Cards. I'm never sure how these are going to go when I try to film them by myself, but let's give it a shot. I mentioned in the previous video, I did a little bit of a teaser for a really interesting collection that we recently received on consignment, the bulk of which is pre-war. There are some pieces from the 50s, but a lot of it is just stuff you really don't see every day. Again, much more of a niche market compared to the standard Parkhurst and O-Pee-Chee, but definitely interesting stuff with some fantastic eye appeal. And there's several pieces in the collection, and I'm just going to highlight some, so bear with me. And again, a lot of this I'm talking off the top of my head. I know that if you Google things, it's going to be a lot more factual than what I'm providing. Again, I'm just talking off the top of my head. I really love hockey postcards, and this is certainly an interesting one. I don't want to get glare here. This is the Victoria Hockey Rink, which was, I believe, opened in like 1862. It was one of the first covered ice rinks. It was in Montreal. It was the home of the first recorded indoor hockey game. It was the site of the first ever Stanley Cup playoff game in, I believe, 1894. And then a couple years later, Lord Stanley himself attended a game in 1896, and he would go on to donate the Stanley Cup. I believe this was also home of the Victoria hockey team, the Montreal Victorias, which is a very famous hockey team. So a really interesting piece there. This is kind of cool. These are referred to as silks. They're very old. I believe these are from the early 1900s. They're called silks because they're made of silk, but the artistic detail of these is stellar. And there's many sports represented. There's several different ice hockey. Again, you know, there's not going to be any individual players. It's not like the C55 or the C56 sets. But this is, I've seen some teams before, but this is an individual player, which is just gorgeous. And again, this is English. There is some things from the UK here from the 30s for hockey, and this is one of them. Again, you probably won't recognize the players, but this is a very cool piece. It's blank backed, but can you imagine if that was like, I don't know, Howie Morenz and George Hainsworth or something like that? Just very, very cool graphics. So again, a lot of the collection is stuff like that. We get into some cards here. The standard 33 O-Pee-Chee A and B. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason as to why what's here is here. This is a hockey card of red-green, the Dominion Chocolates. I believe it's from 1924, although the tab has been cut off, but I've always loved these cards. Again, a lot of UK things here, but just the eye appeal of these is stellar. There's Kellogg's All Wheat. I believe that's from 1946. And I love, again, just some of the cards you rarely see. There is one highlight here in the collection that I'm going to get to, so hopefully everybody hangs on, or if you fast forward, stop when you see it pulled up. This is the Wheaties, Greatest Moments in Sports. I believe this might be from the 60s, actually, but it's just, again, the eye appeal of some of these cards is just fantastic. Again, another UK hockey related item. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to sell these for our consignor. There'll be some pieces individually. There'll be some pieces grouped up. But you will see all of this material coming up for sale on eBay under our user ID, Vahoota, V-A-H-O-O-T-A. And again, going back to hockey postcards, I've always loved them. And I just saw there is a note written on back from somebody. I don't know how you would ever decipher that. Probably would take about a day to figure out all of the writing on there. But I just think that's very, very cool. And again, another hockey team on front. I believe this is from the 1930s from Germany, actually. And let's keep going. Again, here's some Team Canada related stuff. That is absolutely gorgeous. Again, that is from the 30s. I believe it's from Germany. A lot of these are European related. If you love the game of hockey, you know, you should find some appreciation in some of these or all of these. I do not know what these are. I'm sure some people looking do. And I know that for a lot of the research on this collection, I have to give this book a plug. Bobby Burrell, who's a historian on hockey cards, the foremost historian on hockey cards, has written 2 books. This is his first one. It's a prized possession of mine and everybody else who owns one because you can't get them anymore. It was a limited print run. I don't think Bobby ever printed more. It is invaluable for research, and I want to thank Bobby for writing this book, the greatest book on hockey cards ever written. Again, he wrote a second edition, which is also invaluable. I don't think these were in there because Bobby can't, you can't have everything in the book. There's gonna, you'd need a phone book. But anyway, very interesting. I don't know what they are. I believe they are from Europe. Not sure when. And again, here's a couple more just really, really, really eye-appealing hockey cards, which we'll have to, figure out exactly what they are. Again, wanted to make this video, and when we go to sell this stuff, we'll do a little more research using Bobby's book again. These are Kellogg's all-wheat cards issued in the 1940s. And then again, a couple more cards from England. There is one card, again, my favorite card in the collection coming up, so try to hang on. A lot of these are horizontal, so let's go that way. Again, just very eye-appealing cards. I'm looking at the back of these, and again, they look to be German, possibly. Here's the page I wanted to show, but I'm going to take this card out. Bear with me for a minute. All right, let's show that after. Here's some more cards from the UK showing the Wembley Lions. My guess would be these would be from the 1930s. Gonna love the goaltender card right there. And again, no recognizable names unless you're a fan of the Wembley hockey team from the 30s. But again, interesting stuff. They're blank backed. Here's the card I wanted to show. To me, this is the highlight of the collection, and truthfully, the reason I'm making the video. This is the 1933 Goudey Sport Kings card of Eddie Shore. And I believe they did 4 hockey cards in the set. I know there's a Howie Morenz. I could be wrong on there. I know there's definitely a Morenz. I'm not sure how many hockey cards are there, but there was, Babe Ruth was in this set. Johnny Weissmuller was in this set. It celebrated all sports. Red Grange was in this set. But the hockey cards are near and dear. I've had them several times over the years, but not enough. And again, there's the Eddie Shore. It's low grade. The back has some age toning, obviously, but truthfully, yes, a near mint example of this would be quite something. But to me, this card is so beautiful that it doesn't need to be in high grade to have fantastic eye appeal. So that's a card you'll see coming up on eBay as part of this collection. And we'll just keep rounding it out. Again, not really any rhyme or reason why a 1933 Canadian chewing gum card missing the tab on the bottom is there. This could have been more of a typeset thing put together by our consignor. I didn't ask him why these cards are in the collection. I just think it's very cool. Again, the colors pop on those kinds of cards. Here's the last page in the collection, and we're getting into a few more maybe North American things, although I'm saying that because I'm looking at this card right here, which is from the Adventure Gum. And again, this is in the 1956. These were issued by Adventure Gum. And the story goes that that is obviously supposed to be Gordie Howe, and that is obviously supposed to be Chuck Rayner. They don't name them on the card. They obviously didn't have the rights. So if you turn it over on the back, there is text there. They don't mention Howe and Rayner by name, I don't believe, but that again is very clearly, well, Chuck Rayner again, maybe, maybe not, but that's definitely Gordie Howe. And again, you know, just more eye-appealing cards to round out the collection. So that is, that's that. You will see all of it in some way, shape, or form along with this card very soon on eBay under our user ID, Vahoota, VAHOOTA. And while I have you, if you reside in Canada or the States, but really we specialize in selling for Canadians. And I think the niche we're developing is we're not a big consignment company by any means, but we try harder than anybody. And again, a lot of the big third-party consignors really want to do high-end graded cards. PSA 8s or better, very, very high-end, modern, graded. We love that stuff and we certainly hope to get it. But if you have pre-war or vintage, you know, 50s, 60s hockey in mid-grade, VG, VGX, X, even low grade, and you're not getting the interest from people because they say the condition isn't there, come to us. We have 27 years on eBay. I've put a lot of time and effort into that. I'm very proud of what I've built on there. Approaching 8,000 feedback, positive feedback, of course. I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. I have a really good name online and I can sell your cards for you. If you don't want to do the work yourself, come to me because I will get you. We auction the stuff. We have a massive audience. Why sell to one guy and get one price when you can, through me, expose your cards to the largest marketplace in the world? Like I always tell people, the buyer of this card probably doesn't live in the city you're watching this video in. He or she or they may live in New York or Tucson, Arizona, or Buffalo or Halifax or Detroit. You have to find the end buyer. And that's what I can do for you. We can expose your card to the largest marketplace in the world for sports cards. Our auctions are in American money and we let the market decide the value, not one person decide the value. We're happy to sell low grade or mid-grade if it fits our consignment model. We love high grade too. I just want to work with you. So if you have this kind of material and you do not want to sell it yourself, let us do the work. You get the rewards. Go to aasportscards.com. AA, that's the name, AA Canada, aasportscards.com. My telephone number, my email is all over there. Call me, email me, and like I've done for many, many, many people across Canada, let me work with you and sell your cards for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Eddie and I will see you soon.